Okay, we're going to talk about Buddhism. Buddhism has a lot of similarities to Hinduism. You can't have Buddhism without Hinduism. There are important people that are important to each religion, and the significant person or the significant people that are important to Buddhism are Siddhartha Gautama, who founded Buddhism, and Ashoka, who is important for spreading the religion. Siddhartha Gautama started Buddhism. He was a Hindu prince who lived in isolation in almost a palace that was very rich, and he was royal. He hardly left his isolation or of the castle until he was about 29 years old. He had no idea that there was suffering in the world because he lived in almost like a bubble. The difference between Hinduism and Buddhism is the caste system, which is that social system based on jobs and occupation. The Buddha, which is Siddhartha Gautama, rejects that. He still believes in karma and dharma, but he calls the end salvation nirvana and not moksha like in Hindu. He becomes the Buddha after he goes outside of his castle one afternoon, sits under a tree, meditates for a long time, and then sort of has a aha moment. And that moment is sort of a realization that he came to, that life is about suffering, and without suffering you can't achieve nirvana, or the end sort of salvation for Buddhism. So after that he started Buddhism. Some of the major beliefs of Buddhism are very similar to Hinduism. They both believe in reincarnation, which is the birth and rebirth cycle. You die, you come back as something else, you die, you come back as something else, and you're just constantly reincarnated until you reach the end sort of salvation, which is nirvana. Enlightenment breaks the rebirth cycle. It's when you have a moment that you sort of remember your karma, and you make that choice of whether or not you're dying, being reborn, and if you are working towards nirvana. Karma determines whether or not good things or bad things will happen to you. If you are good to someone, good things happen to you. If you're bad to someone, bad things happen to you. Buddhists do not believe in harming other people. They don't step on bugs. They don't hurt things, because they believe that everything has kind of a soul in life, and that everyone should be treated good. So they try to do that. They believe that life is about suffering, and that everybody does suffer, and to eliminate the suffering, you should have good karma. That's called the Four Noble Truths. There's an eightfold path that you must follow in order to reach your nirvana. And the eightfold path is simply just a set of steps, 8 steps that you should lead in your life in order to get to nirvana. You need to have the right speech, means talking nicely to people, the right actions, that you're doing nice things. There are 8 of them. If you can do all 8, and you understand the Four Noble Truths, that life as a whole is about suffering, and the way to get rid of suffering in everyone's life is to eliminate those selfish desires, then you will reach nirvana, which is the whole goal of being a Buddhist. To reach nirvana, to reach enlightenment. Okay, this are the Four Noble Truths, which is one of the goals of Buddhists. Life is suffering. Suffering is caused by desire. By eliminating desire, you can eliminate suffering, and you can eliminate desire by following the Eightfold Path and reaching nirvana. You must be able to memorize or at least recognize this saying as the Four Noble Truths. When you have to compare Hinduism to Buddhism, if there is a Four Noble Truths and an Eightfold Path, then it must be the Buddhist religion. This is the Eightfold Path. Right view, right intentions, right speech, that you're speaking kindly to people, that you're not being rude to people, that you're not using bad language, right actions, that you're being kind, right livelihood, right effort, that you have good intentions, right concentration, that you're thinking good and pure thoughts, right mindfulness, you're getting sleep, you're paying attention, and you're really trying your best to live a calm and appropriate life. This is called the Eightfold Path. If you follow these 8 steps and you understand the big concept that life is suffering and that everybody suffers, and to eliminate the desire that you have or eliminate the suffering, that you can reach nirvana. If you follow the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths, then you are a Buddhist. Also, that you do not believe in the caste system. Okay, important things that you need to know about Buddhists. You need to know this vocabulary word, stupa. Stupid stupas. Stupas are these big buildings that you will see right here, and they're all over India. They're Buddhist temples, or a place where Buddhists will go and worship. Maybe they go inside, maybe they don't. However, you need to be able to recognize a picture of a stupa, which just looks like a big, giant, kind of round place with a pointy top, and understand that that goes as an icon of Buddhists. There are 2 different types of Buddhists. You can be a Theravada Buddhist, or you could be a Mahayana Buddhist. They're probably never going to ask you what the differences between the 2 are. Just know that there are 2 types and be able to kind of recognize that vocab word as Theravada and Mahayana. The holy book is the Tripitaka. Just like in Judaism, the holy book is the Torah, and in Christianity, the holy book is the Bible. In Buddhists, the holy book is the Tripitaka. And in Hinduism, the holy books are Upanishads and Vedas. Important things that you need to know about the religion Buddhism. It was founded by Siddhartha Gautama. He's your Buddha. He's your big, large individual that if you go get your nails done, or you go with your parents to get your nails done, you walk into a place, a lot of times you see a Buddha that's very large and round. That's actually Siddhartha Gautama. He's not actually, or never really was, portrayed as a large person or a large kind of fat Buddha. That's just how we as the people in this country kind of remember him or portray him. Either way, it's Siddhartha Gautama. The holy text is the Tripitaka. If you go to India today, most people are either Hindus or Buddhists. Ashoka is your important person that you need to know, responsible for the spread of Buddhism. There are important people to each religion. In this religion, the 2 people you need to know are Siddhartha Gautama and Ashoka. Ashoka was a Hindu prince just like Siddhartha Gautama. He was very interested in taking over civilizations and having an empire. He was the one that was in charge of the Mauryan Empire, that largest empire in India. He was very interested in winning battles and spreading his empire, making it larger. And so he did a lot of killing and won a lot of battles. And one day he had a battle called the Battle of Kalinga. He used elephants, rode elephants, slaughtered like almost 1 million people, and then all of a sudden he looked up towards the sky and realized, oh my gosh, I am responsible for killing all of these people. I have just caused suffering to all of these people. And at that moment, he stopped being a Hindu prince and decided that he was going to spread Buddhism, and that was going to be his life mission. One of the things that he did was to spread Buddhism everywhere that he went. And he was very popular in that. That is what he's most well known for. Ashoka is known for two things: having the largest land empire, Mauryans, and spreading Buddhism. He did not found Buddhism, he was the spreader of Buddhism. Buddhism, similar to other religions we talked about, they worship lots of gods, so they are polytheistic. They worship in a temple. Sometimes they worship in stupas. So you need to know temples and stupas, and you should write stupa next to the word temple.